So I'm going to walk you through how I saved over 17 pounds of weight on my ZX10 by doing carbon fiber wheels, as well as other common drag racing. I've seen road racing guys do it as well. But for the wheels, they are the Dimag carbon fiber wheels. I have another video showing you a little more details on them and how much the wheels themselves weigh. So for the rear of the bike, I run no back brake or caliper or rotor. What I did is I just took the stock bracket, ground down where the caliper bolts on, but still allowed the speed sensor in there. And then with the no rotor, I just used 2 washers and spaced out the speed ring, and it picks up the speed. I run an aluminum 520 sprocket on the rear. When I was stretched for drag racing, I always ran the 520 chain with the aluminum sprocket as well, and I never had any problems with it. I was just ran a cheap Regina drag chain, which has less tensile strength than the current chain that I have on the stretch. This is a 520 Regina drag chain for a stock wheelbase that I picked up. I did not weigh the tires. To me, the tires are kind of invalid since I will mostly be running. I'll probably run a new Drag Max on the rear, and then I'll run either a 120 60-17 or a 90-80 17 on the front, depending on how ballsy I feel and how much street riding I do. But for the rear, that's really where a lot of the weight was saved, was the wheel, the no caliper, rotor, obviously master cylinder, any of that stuff as well. And then the front saved some weight too, going with the carbon fiber wheel. But here I also run just one rotor. It's the stock rotor still, with some nice brake pads in there. And then to space them out, I also have the Brox spacers, so the strap is even on the frame and isn't pulling. I've heard that can kind of cause some issues. So that's a lot of it. And then here I have, excuse the messy garage here, some weights. So hopefully you can see this, otherwise I'll try and take a picture and see if I can get it on there better. But the rear wheel saved me 4.4 pounds. I was able to go back and dig through some of my old threads on the ZX10 forum, and that stock rear sprocket versus a 44 aluminum sprocket saved me almost 1.5 pounds. I do have driven sprocket nuts on there. They're black, they're aluminum. They look kind of cool versus the stock, aluminum colored ones. Saved a little bit of weight there, and then the rear rotor saved a good bit of weight. I did have the weight of, I have an aftermarket rotor, which saved, I would guess, close to 1 pound. I can throw that on the scale if anybody's interested as well, and let you know in the comments. If anybody has questions, throw it in the comments and I'll weigh it for you quick. Otherwise, not worth it for me. Then the front wheel, I saved 2.6 pounds over the stock with that carbon fiber wheel. I run just one rotor, so I did the math on that, and I was able to find my stock rotor bolts, and that saved a little bit of weight is there as well from running only one. So overall, between the stock rears and the stock fronts and those couple changes there, I added some weight up. And then I also went back and found my thread where I measured the rear master cylinder, the caliper, the pads, the bracket, and the line, and that was 2.19 pounds of weight I saved there. And then I weighed the caliper. I dug it out of a box, and it looks like that came in at 2.47 pounds. So overall, you can see that with all those changes, I've saved 17.77 pounds. I did also, with the front rotor, delete, you go stainless lines. I would think that there would be a little bit of weight savings, maybe by going with one stainless line versus the stock heavy stuff. But you know, I didn't have that weight. So well over 17 pounds easily by swapping to carbon fiber wheels and then also doing some of those other drag racing mods. Would you do this, you know, on a road racing bike? Well, no. Would you do it on a drag racing bike? Like, yeah, I probably would. You know, there's a little less weight in the front, but the bike's going to be pretty long this year, so I'm not too concerned about the front end staying down. But overall, turns out I'm pretty happy with these wheels. A little bit of street riding with it, you know, just to dial it into tune a little bit before going to the dyno. And the bike flicks amazing. Granted, I'm used to a low profile front tire and a hookup on the back, but with these nice road race takeoffs, even with the bike being lowered a good bit, I mean, it's still handled really good. I could flick it side to side super easy. I mean, if you were a road race guy, I mean, you're saving 7 pounds on wheels alone if you didn't do anything else. You know, if you get a lightweight rotors in the rear, if you do some lightweight rotors in the front, you know, maybe get some titanium or aluminum bolts, you know, for the rotors. You know, you're usually probably going to save, what, maybe 10 pounds at least. So, and that's all rotational mass, so definitely worth it. I'm glad I picked them up. You know, you're going to be hard pressed to find 7 pounds. I mean, you're going to find 7 pounds elsewhere, but it's, you know, that's rotation mass. So depending on, you know, where you read or what you'd follow, it's what, 7 times, some people say, times the weight. So that's a lot of weight right there. And I'll be curious. I want to try and get some scales on the bike and see what the bike weighs. It's got the MWR big intake on it, so I can't run street plastics anymore with this. So, you know, it's just too big for headlights to fit in here. So with that, I'll probably run the race tail as well. You know, all the other little stuff, I took out all the sound deadening, you know, all those heat mats, the little clutch thing on the side, all that stuff that always just got in the way of doing clutch jet work. All that stuff's off the bike. I want to save that saved, you know, a couple pounds. It's got the stainless steel sidewinder, which was lighter than, with the baffle removed, was lighter than my full titanium errata exhaust that I had before, so that saves a little bit of weight. You know, the bike should be pretty light the way it sits, so if I ever get it on the scales, maybe I'll make another video of the full weight of the bike. But there was your video for how much weight you saved with carbon fiber wheels over the stock Gen 4s is 7 pounds on the dot.